Practice is going, well this week. Players are working hard to try to prepare, and we want to finish the week strong. Tomorrow's a real mental preparation day for us, lots of reps, and I've been pleased with the effort and the attitude. This is a challenging team to prepare for on both sides of the ball. They have lots of good players, especially skill guys on offense that they utilize in a lot of different ways, and that's always challenging. And defensively, they're very good up front and very good in the secondary, really good players in the secondary, and have played extremely well all year long, but especially in the last 2 or 3 games. From an injury update standpoint, Dre practiced some today. Terry Grant didn't do much today. Colin Peake practiced a little bit yesterday and a little bit today, but those guys would still be, day to day. We're happy to see that some of our players are, getting considered and making some of the semifinalist lists for some national awards. I think these are all a function of successful teams. Most people that win these awards are guys that play on good teams and get a lot of recognition because of the team's success. And most of the time when you have good team success, there's a lot of positive accolades for everyone involved. And, we're certainly proud of the fact that we have some players being considered on a national level.
Coach, if Peake can't go, how pleased were you with what you got from Mike Williams and maybe some of the other guys you'd rely on in that role?
Well, I think that always when you have a chance to prepare for a game, knowing that a player is going to play, he's much better prepared. He gets a lot more reps. Michael's got all the reps now for 2 weeks. Our other tight ends have done a good job of filling in as well. In the last game, guy gets hurt on a freak accident in pregame warm-up, and you lose the guy. The other guy's not probably as prepared, and you have a better chance to do the things that he can do. So we feel like he's done a good job and made lots of improvement, and I think we're prepared to go if Colin can't go.
And in Terry's case, would Demetrius Good be the guy that could potentially move in to the spot
Absolutely.
that Terry usually saw?
I think he's healthy now and playing well and played well on special teams, and certainly a guy that has played in some games before and would be a guy that we would consider playing as a fourth back, because Roy has been good all week in terms of being 100%, so we feel good about his chances now of finally being healthy.
Coach, what have you seen from Jordan Jefferson recently? He seems to be playing a little bit better. Anything different with his game?
Well, I think that, as he gets more experience, obviously, I think the consistency that he's played with has been very good, and he seems to have a good knowledge and grasp of their offense and has done a really good job. He doesn't turn the ball over. He's not throwing a lot of interceptions. He's got a strong arm. He's been very accurate. He's very athletic. He makes plays with his feet at times in terms of his running ability, but does a really good job of executing what they ask him to do, and I think he's just gotten better and better with each game.
Coach Saban, could you talk about, first of all, if you've seen some progress in your kickoff coverage, and second, just what kind of unique player, what kind of challenge Trendon Holiday presents for you?
Well, Trendon Holiday is, guys like that are always tremendous challenges. First of all, he has tremendous speed and is very good at picking his way. And when there's a crease, he can get through it in a hurry. And I think that we have made some progress on the kickoff team. I think we made some improvement, during this bye week and also, getting ready for this game. I think one of the most difficult things we have with our kickoff coverage is it's probably the most difficult thing to get a good look from on the scout team. To get the guys sitting and blocking the guys that are going to get blocked, and you try to have guys run down the field with the idea that they know and they can read by their indicator reads, whatever they're looking at, who's going to block them and what the return is based on that. and it's really difficult to get that look. You know, it's not difficult to get them running down the field right on kickoff coverage. It's not difficult to get them running down on a punt, and it's not difficult to do punt return. But that's the one that seems to be the most difficult for us, and we've gotten a better picture of that. So I think we've made some improvement because of it, and hopefully it'll show up in a game. We certainly need to do a good job. We did a good job last year, in the kicking game, and it's going to be real critical in this game because it affects field position so dramatically.
Coach, a lot has been made in the media, and a lot of questions have been thrown out there about the offense's inefficiencies. And I'd like for you to turn that around possibly and tell me what you're praising them for. What do you see that they're doing well in the last game and how they're maturing in practice this week?
Right. Well, I think we've made huge improvement during this time. I think that we worked hard on the passing game, and it shows. I think our players are playing with more confidence now. I think Greg is doing a really good job of getting the ball out of his hand on time. And I think that we've improved in pass protection. We've worked in every area to improve every area so that and what we've done well offensively is we've always been able to run the ball effectively, even sometime in adverse circumstances. And when I say adverse circumstances, I'm talking about how the defense has presented itself in terms of an 8-man front or extra guys in the box or whatever. That's where we need to be able to take advantage of other things and have more balance in our offense, and that's what we've worked hard on and I think have done a good job of improving systematically and also in the execution of what we're doing. And let me say this, that I think in the last few weeks, we've played against better defenses, and I think that has something to do with it. But we're going to have to be able to perform with more consistency against better defenses because this is one of the better defenses that we're going to play against in our league.
Coach, the movie Blind Side is due out the 20th. I was just curious, were you given any creative input into the dialogue, and in particular, as it relates to Sandra Bullock's character who said about you, quote, "I find him extremely handsome"?
No, that she wasn't saying that. That was really what Leanne said, when I came to the house. So that was in the book. All right, so I didn't have anything. And the only thing that I said to these guys, and I don't know, I haven't seen the movie, I don't know what's in it, but when I was sitting there doing the recruiting talk, and they had a script, and when I came to the front door, and the 2 or 3 parts that I had, the director was great, and I said, I really wouldn't say this way. If I was recruiting a player, this is how I would say it. This is what I would say. He said, say it however you want to say it. And Tim McGraw and Sandra Bullock both were, you talk about consummate professionals in terms of helping people who have no experience in doing these things. And it was very helpful, and it was actually fun. I don't do many things like this, and I turned down doing this to start with. I don't want to say any names, but somebody who's a very influential person called me and asked me to do it for Michael Orr, for the Toohey family and all that. So I ended up doing it. And, I didn't want people from Alabama, but it's a historic thing, so it's, my heart's here, so nobody has to worry about any of that stuff, especially this week. But, I actually did that on Friday and Talladega on Sunday. Neither of those have I ever experienced, and it was like going on vacation, those two deals in a totally different way.